Hi again, Risa here, back with another episode of Ask Risa. This is my fortnightly video series where I talk about common wedding planning questions and problems that you might be having if you're trying to plan your own wedding. It's still coronavirus season. I put on makeup for the first time in like a week today, so that's exciting. Still not going to talk about coronavirus. You're getting enough of that from the news. I am just going to keep, like I said last time, talking about stuff that people need to know as they're planning their weddings, because eventually we will be able to have weddings again and people are going to need to know this stuff. So this week I am talking about how to dress your wedding party. And again, take this opportunity to remind you, we don't call it a bridal party anymore, it's a wedding party. Even if wedding party is more inclusive of same-sex couples, but it is also more inclusive of the groom. Even in an opposite-sex marriage, there's still a bride and a groom. Calling it the bridal party eliminates half of the couple. So wedding party is what we're calling it. Now, the question is, how do you dress them? Like, what should they wear? Back in the day, it was pretty much, there were not a lot of choices. The guys were all going to wear matching tuxedos, and the girls were all going to wear really hideous matching bridesmaid dresses. But these days you have a lot more options. So first I'm going to talk about options for the ladies, and then I'm going to talk about options for the guys. And then I will talk about mixed gender wedding parties, which are becoming more popular. And then I will have a special section toward the end about same-sex weddings. So skip ahead if that's the part you're interested in. So first of all, probably the most common approach to take these days is to choose one color for the bridesmaids to wear, but let them choose their own dress style, because not everybody looks good in the exact same style of dress. Not everybody is comfortable wearing a strapless dress. Some people are. Some people prefer to have skinny straps. Some people want, more like a halter, wide straps, short sleeves, whatever. If you let your bridesmaids choose the style of dress that they're wearing, they're going to be more comfortable in it. They're going to look and feel their best, and you really want everybody to look and feel their best on your wedding day, because that will come through in photos. So most traditional bridesmaid dress manufacturers will have a variety of styles all in the same color. And if you're going to go this route, it's best to choose a particular color from a particular manufacturer, because they all have special names. Like one company might call it wine, but another company might call it burgundy, another company might call it claret. And if you just tell your bridesmaids, oh, I want everybody to get a burgundy dress, that's meaningless. Like, they're all gonna end up wearing something different, a different shade, if you just say burgundy. So pick a dress manufacturer like W2 or Waters or Desi or any of those, and choose the exact color that you want from that manufacturer, and then tell your bridesmaids, we're doing Desi claret. Any style you want, but it has to be Desi claret. That way you can make sure all the dresses are going to be the same shade, the same hue, the same color. They're going to look like they match. So that's tip number one. If you don't care if they all match, then your second option would be to say, okay, everybody just get a blue dress. There are a million different shades of blue. I mean, you've got everything from navy blue to royal blue to sky blue. You could have like a periwinkle or like a sea blue, which is a little bit of green blue. If that's what you want to do, if you don't care that they all have the same exact color or shade or hue, then fine, just pick a color and say, hey, go get a dress that's blue or burgundy or whatever. Fine, if that's what you're going for. Option number 3 is to do sort of an ombre look. And this actually requires the most coordination from you as the bride who is sort of asking for this. But again, taking blue as an example, if you have 5 bridesmaids, you could have them wearing a different shade of blue from lighter to dark, or from dark to light. So like your maid of honor could be in a really pale sky blue dress, like a pastel blue, and then the next bridesmaid in line would get a little darker blue, and then you'd move into the royal blue, where eventually the last person standing in the line would either be wearing navy or like a midnight blue, something that is very dark and almost looks black. And then you get that like color gradation as the ladies are all standing next to each other up. at the front of the aisle, and it would come through in pictures as well. But you have to decide who's going to wear which color, or your girls have to come to you and say, hey, I want to wear navy. And you're like, okay, good, you're taking navy, and then nobody else can take navy. So it takes a lot more coordination on your part if you want to do that. And then you can also have your bridesmaids wear one color, but have your maid of honor wear a different color. So like if all your bridesmaids are in peach, then your maid of honor could be in something that goes well with peach but isn't quite peach. It could be a darker or lighter shade of peach, or it could be like a pink or something else. It depends on how pastel you want to go with your overall colors. But it's a good way to set off the maid of honor if you want to do that. Not a ton of people do that these days. That was kind of an old-fashioned approach, but it is a nice way to give your maid of honor more of a position of honor. Shoes. All the ladies should be wearing the same color of shoe. They do not have to have the exact same type of shoe. They don't all have to be wearing the same exact shoe or all wearing pumps or something like that. It's helpful if you can coordinate that to a certain extent, like if everyone's wearing sandals versus everyone wearing pumps or something like that. But especially if they're not wearing full-length gowns, their shoes are going to be in a lot of the photos. Any photo that's full length will have their shoes in it. So you want those to all be reasonably similar to each other. I find it's best to stick with neutrals. Anything in metallic, gold, silver, bronze, a beige, or like a nude for you. So, if your bridesmaids have different skin tones, then they don't all want to wear a shoe that's beige or nude for a very light-skinned Caucasian person like me. That nude for me is not the same as nude for someone who has much darker skin. So keep that in mind as well. Or black shoes, depending on what color dress they're wearing. Possibly white shoes, less likely. But the shoes do not need to be the same color as the dress. It is not 1989 anymore. For any of you who remember those dyeable shoes that, you would buy your prom dress and it was like hot pink, and then you would buy white shoes and the white shoes would be dyed hot pink to match the dress. Oh my God. Yeah, the 80s, people. If you did not live through the 80s, probably you should be glad about that. And then also one last thing about the ladies is they do not actually have to wear dresses. There are a ton of really nice dressy jumpsuits and rompers and things like that out there these days. So pants also an option if they want to go that route. So speaking of pants, let's talk about the guys now. They have fewer options when it comes to the girls, when it comes to attire than the girls do, but they still have quite a few options. The most traditional is going to be a tuxedo. Usually if you're wearing a tux, it's going to be black, but tuxedos also come in navy or gray or burgundy, even white sometimes. Usually the guys are all going to wear the same color and style of tuxedo, and then the groom's tie and vest would be a different color than everybody else, all of his groomsmen. But you can also have the groom wear a completely different colored jacket. So like all the guys could be wearing black trousers, the groomsmen could be wearing black jackets, and the groom's wearing a white jacket. And then maybe his tie and vest are also a different color still to offset him from the groomsmen. Cummerbunds, another thing from the 80s. We're not doing those anymore. Those are those like colored waistband things that went with tuxedos. No, not doing that. Vests only now. Okay. Suits, similar concept to tuxedos. Everybody can wear the same color. It can be navy, it can be black, it can be gray, it can be tan. A lot of options there. If you're not wearing a three-piece suit, so there's no vest, then pocket squares and ties are a good way to differentiate the groom from the groomsmen. The groom's tie should just be a different color or pattern. Stripes and polka dots and floral ties are very popular right now. So if you just got the groom a slightly different one than everyone else, it helps him stand out. If you're going a little more casual, you can do trousers with either a shirt and vest or a shirt and suspenders. But I do recommend having either a vest or suspenders because you need something to attach the boutonniere to, and they don't hold up well on shirts. They're too flimsy, and so the boutonniere will sag if you try to pin it right to a shirt. So you need something that's a little sturdier, either a suspender strap or a vest to pin a boutonniere on. And then if you're doing like a beach wedding or something that's really casual, linen pants and maybe a linen matching shirt, complimentary shirt is a great choice. You can even do that with flip-flops. So speaking of shoes, men's shoes are a little bit more complicated than women's shoes because there are certain color combinations that you have to follow. So with a tuxedo, you're always going to wear tuxedo shoes, which are going to be black and shiny. You're going to probably have to rent those if you don't wear a tuxedo a lot and you don't already own them. But black shiny shoes, no matter what kind of tux you're wearing, black shiny shoes. If you are wearing a black suit, then you want black shoes. They don't have to be the shiny tuxedo shoes now. We're just talking about regular men's dress shoes. Black suit, black shoes. That's your only option. If you're wearing a navy suit, you can wear black shoes or brown shoes or burgundy / cordovan. Cordovan is a kind of an old school term that not a lot of people use anymore, but it's like a maroon brownish hybrid color. High-end men's shoes will usually come in a cordovan color. So navy suit, very versatile. You can wear pretty much all of the different shoe colors. With a dark gray suit, you want to stick with black or burgundy cordovan shoes. Light gray, you can bring those brown shoes in again. You can do black shoes, brown shoes, or burgundy cordovan. So light gray and navy are going to be your most versatile suit options. And then with a tan suit, you want to wear brown shoes. So just keep that in mind. And then when thinking about belts, you either need a belt or suspenders. You do not need both. That is overkill. And your belt should match your shoes. So black shoes, black belt, brown shoes, brown belt. You get the idea. And I already talked about cummerbunds. We're not doing those anymore. So it's belts only unless you're wearing suspenders, and then you don't need a belt. That's overkill. So then mixed gender wedding parties started out as a thing in the same-sex community because a lot of gay couples getting married had like women in their ceremony, and then lesbians would have their guy friends stand up with them. And so now that trend has been appropriated by everyone. I had a mixed gender wedding party, and so basically you can do like all the girls in the wedding are going to wear the same color or dress regardless of whose side they're on. Or if you have most of your girls on one side and then just one girl or one or two on the other side, maybe those two that are on the other side wear a slightly different color. Or if you're matching styles on this side, maybe this side wears a different style just to set them off to show that they're with this group and not this group. Not super important. Same thing with the groomsmen. You can mix it up a little bit. They're all probably going to wear the same color of suit or trouser jacket combo, whatever they're doing. But you can play with accessories. The guys' accessories are the best way to mix up color. Again, the vest, the tie, the pocket square, those types of things. Not accessories like shoes and belts. I mean like the silk accessories like ties and pocket squares. And again, you want to try to keep the groom separate from everybody else because you want him to stand out. So now when you have an actual same-sex couple, you've got a bunch of different possible combinations. So you could have two brides with all women attendants, or you could have two brides with mixed gender, or you could have two grooms with all guy attendants, or two grooms with mixed gender. So there's a lot of different parameters here. With the brides, again, if the brides are both wearing dresses, then you can mix up the rest of the wedding party by having them wear a variety of styles. You can even mix in some pantsuits in there for the girls. And if one of the brides is wearing a dress and the other bride is wearing pants of some sort, either a tuxedo or a pantsuit or something like that, then maybe you want to have all the attendants who are on the bride's side who's wearing pants wear pants, and all the attendants on the bride's side who's wearing a dress wear dresses. That's a nice symmetry that you could do there. Or, just mix and match. It doesn't matter. When there are two grooms, generally, again, you want to offset the grooms from the other guys that are in the wedding party, but you also probably want to differentiate the grooms between each other. So if they're both wearing black tuxedos, then maybe you want to give them different colored bow ties and vests, and then so they each have their own color, and then any other gentlemen who are in the wedding party have yet a third color. Or you might want the grooms to totally match. It's up to you. It just depends on how matchy-matchy you want to be. But there's a lot of different ways to play with the color combinations. And again, if the grooms each or one or both of them has women who are going to be part of their wedding party, maybe they want to put them in some sort of dressy jumper or something that's pants instead of a dress. Again, it's very much a matter of personal style. I mean, your personal style as the couple getting married, but also the people you're asking to be in your wedding, their personal style. There are a lot of girls that don't like to wear dresses. And so if you have a friend who's not a fan of dresses, then don't make her wear a dress. Give her some flexibility to wear something that she's going to be comfortable in. And you want your wedding to be a reflection of you and your style and your personality. So you can use clothing to do that. So I think that's all I have to say on this topic. This video has gone very long. This is probably one of my longer ones. But if you have any questions, or if you feel like I missed a suggestion that you want me to be aware of, feel free to comment either on Instagram or on YouTube, depending on where you're watching this. And if you made it all the way to the end, congratulations. Please like the video because that helps other people see it. And I'll be back in a couple of weeks to talk about something else. All right, bye for now.